Welcome back, Tough Men of Faith.
15th time. How you doing?
Yeah, we've been going on 45 minutes trying to get a 20-minute episode recorded.
It's okay. Now we're on 2 cameras.
Well, yeah.
So now, welcome our guests.
Well, yeah, you can see the guests. So the guest is almost sitting on your lap.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Almost. We had a
Next
camera.
take.
I can smell his cologne.
You did tell him his cologne smells nice.
I did.
Your camera went out. You broke the camera.
Yeah.
Producer
that
Blake's been
happens.
trying to fix it.
Yep.
Here we are.
You know?
I had a great intro last
Maybe
time.
we need another corporate sponsor so we can get some nicer cameras.
We're going to have to get another sponsor, yeah. We haven't had one for a couple episodes.
Where's Dirt Wrangler at when we need him?
Dirt Wrangler? I
We
don't
just
know.
need one camera, Dirt Wrangler.
Okay.
I'll get him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
Yeah. So let's introduce our guest. Let's just get into it.
Shane? Studer.
Yes.
Studer?
Excellent
Studer.
job. Yeah, very well
Good job,
done.
Nick.
Thank you.
Welcome, Shane.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, usually we're more on it. Like, this is the first time we've had a guest have to sit right next to Nick.
Yeah.
So-
I feel honored, honestly.
I don't know if honored is what you're
yeah.
feeling.
You don't know Nick well. I would not sit that close to him.
Well, I wasn't until you guys kept saying, hey, move a little closer to him. Move a little closer. A little closer. So.
I'm glad he's got a wide angle camera here. He's going to need it to get both of us in there.
All right, so here we go.
What's going on?
Nothing. Did you have a good day?
I've had a great day. Great couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane?
Oh, fantastic day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, until like the last
45 minutes.
45 minutes or so. Yeah. Everything's been super smooth.
You're like, oh, I'm going to go on this podcast. We're going to talk about some things, but
Yeah.
really, we're just going to mess with
Yeah,
cameras
really,
for
really
an hour.
sharp, buttoned up podcast
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go to. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you couldn't even find us
That's
to
true.
watch it. I was like, it's like you've been watching us. You're like, you guys, you can watch a video? Or-
Yeah, did not know that.
Maybe we need
Yeah.
to add some signage. Oh, I thought you meant find us here.
No,
You can
no.
find us on the interwebs.
Yeah, he didn't know we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you look at the camera. 'Cause
Right.
you're watching, you know.
Hey, we're on YouTube. Come and check us out.
Subscribe and share is what Blake always tells us.
Oh, yeah.
But man, here's the thing: like everything's been breaking for me here lately.
Really?
Yeah, at my house.
Oh, yeah.
This weekend, so
Yeah.
I had
You have plumbing issues, right?
my garage drain wouldn't work, which I never used the garage drain, except my wife after it's snowing a lot, so she parks her car in the garage.
Well, you got that ice thing out there, right? The ice bath?
I have an ice bath in the garage, yeah.
Okay.
But I drained that outside.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But she pulled into the garage, and this isn't her fault at all. Like I need to make sure this isn't. She doesn't watch. Like no one else tells.
Right.
Nobody watches. We didn't know you were on YouTube.
yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
But her car, like the ice melted, it was all built up, and so then my gym in the garage has plywood, and then the rubber mats on top of it
Okay.
to protect the floor. And
Now
so,
it's like an extra squishy floor
yeah,
with all
it
the
just
wet
flooded.
wood.
So
Yeah.
that broke, and then I had some problem with my sump pump underneath,
Yeah.
and then I had a friend that comes over and lifts with me in the morning. He goes, "Hey man, sounds like you should call a plumber."
Yeah.
Because I was explaining to him everything going on. I didn't listen to him.
Right.
And so this was on a Monday.
Yeah, you went and got the snake or something, right?
The following Monday, I went and rented this massive snake thing to try
Yeah.
to get down in the crawl space. I put a new sump pump in. And so first I tried it in the garage drain.
Oh, yeah.
And I went down that, and I had a bunch of Drano down it. And it starts like whipping around, and the Drano comes out. It gets in my eye.
Yeah.
I thought I was going blind. And then something like stuck through my finger, and I'm pretty sure it hit my bone. So I thought I was dying.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Basically, Karen
Yeah.
comes out there. I couldn't see anything.
You're going to be like a blind podcaster one day. You're
Well, I
going to be
can't
wearing
see out of my left
sunglasses.
eye anyway,
Oh,
so it
okay.
didn't matter.
I can't see out of my right eye.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Put our heads together.
If I go to
We can-
punch you, man, it's going to be a left hook.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it coming.
Yeah, if you do it from too high, I'll see it.
Okay.
I can see out of like the top of my right eye, but
You got the glaucoma
not the
too?
bottom. I don't know what
You
it
need
is.
to go get checked.
Nick has these eye drops for his eyes, and he takes them. And he has the most beautiful eyelashes, is what people say. Look at, can you see? I mean, you're sitting pretty
It
well
makes
on
my
the side.
lashes grow.
Those are
Yeah.
those are beautiful lashes.
There's something.
Anyways, and then the next day, or no, that same day, I get in a crawl space, and I think I'm going to run this snake about 75 feet to clear out this
Yeah.
other pipe. It goes past the first elbow and goes to the second elbow, and instead of turning, it just punches right through the PVC pipe. I can't get it back out to go return the snake to
Yeah.
the rental place. So I stick my hacksaw down, man.
Really?
Yep.
You
Just
start
started
hacking
cutting
up
the
the
pipe.
PVC.
Got the snake back out. Took it back up. Took it back to rental store. He asked how it went. Told
You
me
should
it
have
went
just told me
no.
it didn't work.
They felt bad for me because I actually broke the end of the snake when
Oh, okay.
they didn't even charge me for it.
Good.
Called my plumber.
Yeah.
So he's coming out.
Huh.
Then that guy showed up the next
So a
Monday.
$50 repair just turned into thousands.
I don't think it'll be too much.
Okay.
I told him I've already cut the pipe for him, so it'll be easy
Oh, yeah.
to-
Probably taking half out of what you needed.
that kind of goes into what I thought maybe we could talk about a little bit later today, but like how we use our talents to serve others.
Yeah.
You know, like God gives us all certain talents.
Don't call RT for plumbing. Check.
No, clearly mine's not plumbing. So, all right, so here we go. So Shane, what we try to do is kind of like hear like your story, like when guys come on, like how did you get from wherever you were born to where you're at now in life?
Yeah, absolutely. So born on the west side of Indy and was homeschooled all growing up. Well,
Genius.
Nick,
yeah.
I was
You
giving
homeschooled?
Nick, I was like,
No,
no,
valedictorian. I know how this goes.
I just didn't know what kind of joke Nick was going to make.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah, no,
Do you have thick skin?
yeah.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's. Oh, my wife's cousin. She was homeschooled,
Okay.
and they got her a valedictorian cake when she graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even good enough for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents gave me a cake for last in class, so it was not great. But yeah, so homeschooled and played a lot of sports growing up and everything, and one of the homeschool sports. So
Yeah.
okay, put it in quotes.
Did you clean? This is a new sport. Get in there and clean the bathroom.
No, homeschooled basketball, and
okay.
I also played.
One on.
Yeah, you wouldn't know by
Well,
looking at
one.
me. Wouldn't know by looking at me, but I played a lot of travel soccer and everything. But I met a good friend through homeschool basketball that actually ended up bringing me to the church that I'm at now as a teenager. And
Cool.
so I been going there since I was 16, 35 now. So 19 years, a long time that I've been there. But while being there, went to a church camp, felt the call to preach, and so that's kind of led me to essentially where I'm at now. There's a lot of stuff in between there, but ultimately I left the profession that I was in, started my own business in the financial industry. So I do that as a career, and then I get the opportunity to pastor a church as well. Thought it was going to be part-time. Turns out ministry is actually full-time, whether you mean for it to be or not.
That is true.
Yeah.
So you pastor part-time, kind of.
Yeah.
Full-time hours, probably.
Full-time hours,
Then you have another full-time job. You have your own business.
Yeah,
and-
that's correct.
Yeah. Financial management, is that?
Yeah, helping families just with it's basically financial coaching, put together plans for them to help them get out of debt faster, save money for retirement.
Nice.
That kind of stuff.
Nick has some questions about crypto. You think you can help him out?
No, he doesn't.
Yep. You don't have questions, and I don't have answers.
He has all his retirement tied up into it. So.
Yeah. I guess advice: don't.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah. I can talk a lot about mutual funds and things like that, but if you get into crypto and some of those things, I don't have answers.
I put
for
in
you.
a little bit of money and dribbled it and pulled it all back out.
There you go.
Yeah. Someone
out
asked me
fast.
yesterday it's one of my daughters, they were learning about some finances in school. They're doing a financial management class.
Yeah.
And she was asking me some stuff about crypto. I was like, I don't know. Put some money in a mutual fund. Like that's
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super good that your daughter's in like financial management classes, because that's something that I tell people all the time is like the concepts that I teach you and that my agents will teach you. We were never taught them in school.
Right.
Like, we were taught all sorts of things in school, most of which we never use.
That's one of my biggest complaints about that is just we need a little bit of training to get through the real world. I mean, just a little.
Yeah.
How do you balance a checkbook? How do you budget?
Yeah.
How do you, you know?
Money's the one thing that all of us use every single day.
Yeah.
And we were never really taught about it.
Yeah.
So.
It's a good class. They have she has to get on Zillow and find houses for sale and then figure out like how much a mortgage would be, how much she could afford based off the job that she thinks she's going to have. So she wants to be like a teacher. So, average teacher salary.
Better get married.
What can you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
She is trying to figure that out right now. Like, how do you afford like a house and different things? So
You don't by yourself.
Yeah, that's what most people are trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
that
How
is
do you
true.
afford a house? Yep.
Man,
That's
I saw speaking of finances, we were just talking about finances a couple weeks ago on here, but I was at the pet store with my youngest daughter, and she doesn't understand concepts of money. She's the one, you give her $50, she's going to spend it all today.
Yeah.
But we're looking at puppies, and like you can play with puppies at the pet store.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, we're not going to buy these. And the puppies are like $4,000 or $5,000. Like they're fairly pricey.
I wouldn't even let my kid play with them.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you
Just go
break
put
it,
it back before you break it.
Well, that was what was bad. We were playing with this puppy, and the thing started like looking a little sick, and it throws up everywhere. And a lady comes here, she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, I'm not a dog person. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Just grabbed a couple of chocolates I had in my pocket.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
But you can finance the dog. So my daughter's like, no, it's not that much. They have the the chart right here on the little play plan.
Yeah.
And it shows like how much you can finance. 24% interest.
Good night.
To finance a dog.
Oh, man.
And they have it right there because you're playing with this
A
cute
dog
puppy.
is going to need a couple $1,000
Yeah.
worth of vet bills and everything else
yeah.
anyway.
I didn't know you could finance a dog.
I didn't know that
That's
either.
nuts, man. How do you repo that?
That's the worst job ever. You think as a
Yeah, you want to go take a little puppy out of a kid's arms?
yeah,
Best of luck.
Go take somebody's car out of their driveway. That's one thing.
Yeah.
That's rough. You go rip this animal out of the kid's
Hey,
arms.
Here's a quick one.
Shoot.
That's rough, too.
Oh man. It's not just those
man.
lashes. You got
Yeah.
humor too. That's
Oh, yeah.
great.
All right, Shane, where were you going with your story, man? For it, so you went to camp. I remember you went to a camp. You come to
Yeah.
Christ. You feel a call to pastor.
Mhm.
You're married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Married. Yeah. Got a couple kids.
Okay.
Anthony, who's 11, and Oliver is 7. And I had hair not that long ago until
Yeah.
they just started becoming, just
Yeah,
crazy.
I had hair before I got married. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah. So, but yeah. So married, couple kids, and I pastor the church. My wife does everything else.
Yeah.
She's incredible. So
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Got an awesome church, awesome group of people, and just really excited about that. What the Lord's doing there. Excited about what He's doing in my business, and just ways I'm able to help people there and bless them there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I know we don't have a whole lot of time left. Blake keeps holding his hands up over there, like, waving around.
I was like, I didn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I
thought
don't know.
Thought he was celebrating at first.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Never mind.
He does that when he gets 2 cameras to work. Little celebration.
Hey, I did it.
Yes.
All right, we have a
You
few
got
minutes. Let's
spirit
jump in. I'm going to throw something new on you guys that we have
All right,
because
what
we
you
haven't
got?
really talked about anything. Let's talk about this. Your story matters. I was thinking about this today. That I think sometimes as Christians we don't care to tell our story to others, or we don't think we have a very exciting story. Like, but I think our story matters for the sense of like sharing our testimony, or so other guys can see it. What kind of brought this up to me is about a week ago I met with a guy. Doesn't go to church, but this kind of hit rock bottom.
Loser. I'm totally kidding.
You know what?
What, man?
You said something a couple weeks ago.
Was it good?
No,
Oh.
I get a call from my mom.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing saying this?" I'm like, "I didn't say it. Nick said it." Like, anyways,
I
back
remember
to
what I
us.
said. You want me to go to? You want to say it
No,
again?
I don't want you to say it again.
Oh,
Get your mom to
I
call?
was excited. I wanted
No,
to know what it was.
No.
Talk about people being overweight.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't.
Hey, never mind. I don't want to know what it was.
So this,
I don't like that topic.
I was talking to this guy, and so our stories really didn't relate at all.
Yeah.
But it was a good meeting with him. But then I started telling him about another guy I know who'd went through some very similar things, and so now they're meeting up. And he was
cool.
just telling me how encouraging it was to hear this other guy's story who experienced some things that he experienced in life. And this
That's
guy's
awesome.
looking at possibly starting to come to church now, unless you offend him. If you
We're
listen
going to
to
offend
the
him. He won't be a
podcast.
loser.
But yeah, he's looking at getting baptized. It's been an exciting thing
Yeah,
to
that's
see.
awesome.
Yeah.
But God used this other guy's story to see that take place.
Right.
And so with that, I was thinking like, man, we all have a story.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting to share and like sharing the gospel through. What's your guys' thoughts?
Sounds good.
Okay, that's it. Let's wrap it up, Blake.
All
That's the
right,
podcast.
no more of this.
Um,
No, that's absolutely true. I get to be part of a men's retreat every 6 months, and it's based off of the teachings of John Eldridge,
Okay.
Wild at Heart. You
yeah,
guys
you
know-
just
you guys know
he
that?
just read one of his books,
I did.
the newest one.
What's it called? I
I
loaned
don't-
it to you.
I know it's
Apparently,
still
it-
sitting.
You never read it.
It's sitting
apparently
on
a
my
great
desk
one.
at home
Is it
to
really?
read. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Beautiful Outlaw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the things I'm on the leadership team there, and one of our you said before we started, like you were talking about.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
off camera.
that's the reason we don't record that stuff.
Yeah, no, this is okay. This isn't like the other stuff you were saying.
Right.
This is okay. You were talking about just people that a lot of times maybe aren't going to church, guys
Yep.
that the unchurched or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Maybe just guys that believe that just you're not going to find.
Right. Yeah. And so that's a lot of what we do with this retreat is our goal is just find guys, invite them in, and the whole retreat is about, it's about God, it's about your relationship with Christ, like bringing that to you. But to people that, but in a lot of ways, people that think they don't have a place in church, they wouldn't want to step foot in there because they're afraid of what people might think of them and
Place
stuff
is gonna
like
burn
that.
down when I walk through the
Yeah,
door.
yeah, exactly right. Which actually had a guy tell me that
Yeah.
recently, and I told him, I was like, look, man, we've got a lot of insurance on
Yeah.
that building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
let it burn.
if it does, like, go for it. But anyway, one of the things that we do is we have, I mean, you get a bunch of guys around. It's not always like, oh yeah, let's just share our stories. Let's talk about feelings. You
Yeah.
know, that's not the first thing that they want to do. But by
Not
breaking,
even the top 10.
not even top 10. Yeah, it's way down there,
Yeah.
honestly.
But that's the best thing is when you can start relating. You know,
and that's exactly right.
Let's just start a relationship by relating to one another and
Yeah.
then build off of that.
Yeah, and we just get around a fire at night, like, you know, like in smaller groups, and just start sharing stories
Yeah.
and opening up. And so many times somebody that's really reserved, somebody that's not, you know, they're not talking much, as soon as they hear a story,
Yeah.
it's just
Yep.
like they're like, oh, you know, actually that's similar to
Wait a
me.
minute, I can relate to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
awesome.
really build that bridge. Stories do, right? So you like, there's this emotional connection, or
Yeah,
you
people
had,
realize that, you know, they're not the only one that's battled with this or dealing
Yeah.
with this, or, you know, they haven't walked down this path alone,
Yeah.
or maybe they were alone, but, you know, other people have walked down it as well. And, you know, maybe we can bounce some things off of each other and learn something,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
yeah. I think, especially for guys, like I think sometimes we're more reserved and don't share our stories when we should.
Yeah.
But like we're probably not going to sit around and have coffee and share our stories all the time. Right?
Yeah.
It's like finding things that guys do. We've talked in the past about we're better like shoulder to shoulder than face to face, like for doing something.
Yeah.
So if Nick and I are out hunting and
Yep.
he keeps missing every time he shoots at a squirrel, I can be like, hey man, I remember when I was 12 and I was first starting to hunt, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we have a shared experience. Nick
Yeah.
shoots like I did when I was 12. And we can kind of
Yeah.
connect on that, and I can start sharing my story,
Yeah.
and maybe he even comes to Jesus. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. Still hoping for that.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, I would say that's happened to Nick because I've been able to watch Nick firsthand for about 4 years now.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, and I'd say Nick from 2019 to Nick to 2023, there's definitely a change.
There's been some changes.
Yeah, there has been. We couldn't have put him on a podcast in 2019.
Yeah, 2017, Nick was not going to be on a podcast.
It'd be a very different podcast.
2019 was a stretch. Luckily, we could edit.
Yeah, but stories, like I think for guys, like especially when you have different hobbies or interests or struggles, trials, like all that, this kind of plays into it that this kind of helps you share it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I like what you said there. Shoulder to shoulder, not face to face.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys do a lot better that way.
It's like, what was that cartoon, King of the Hill? They would always stand there talking,
Oh, yeah.
side by side, talking to each other. They're never like just facing each other.
No.
That'd be weird.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but that's exactly what we do with the retreat as well.
Okay.
Is we just get a bunch of activities, bunch of fun stuff.
Nice.
You know, guys playing paintball and you know, walking down to the arena. They're, you know, getting excited and talking about, you know, times they've done this before or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they get to go shoot each other and all this stuff, and then walking back, and it's all the rest of the weekend is just these fun stories of,
Yeah.
man, you should have seen him out there, and
Yeah.
and there's just like various playing football and other
Yeah.
activities and
You guys
stuff.
like have a place you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this camp. It's a beautiful camp. That's it's called Wilderness Ridge. It's over in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
But this guy owns it and just uses it for ministry.
Awesome.
And so there's a couple women's retreats a year, a couple men's retreats, and then they do like youth camps all the way through. But the youth camps are free of charge. Like none of
Yeah.
the kids have to pay for that. It's really
Awesome.
cool. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we used to do a men's retreat, kind of like that. Not necessarily the paintball, but, you know, the big fire and the cooking out.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
you know, everybody camp out and, you know, cook breakfast the next morning. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
you know, just a lot of shoulder to shoulder activities.
Yeah, I think guys have been, especially in today's society, really encouraged to not be, you know, what God intended us to be. And so I think us getting out and being able to do those things puts us back into the right perspective in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
I just thought of an activity we should do next time we do that.
What's that?
Like tug of war over the creek.
Yeah, we should have a Tough Men of Faith retreat.
Oh, let's do that.
dude,
And then, yeah, we'll play some tug of war over that creek.
Yeah.
Sound good? What are you laughing at?
I'm just thinking about the creek. It's the one that your grandpa was upside down on the tractor in, right?
There's been a lot of things that have happened in that creek. So we only have a few minutes left here, but kind of one other thought is that I think one reason we hear stories in Scripture is so that we can relate. It helps us move on. So we've been looking at Hebrews 11 the last, 3 or 4 months here at Villa. And this past week looking at David and looking at how David was called.
Yeah.
And so, his dad's told, like, hey, one of your sons is going to be king. He gets all his sons there. And Samuel's like, no, none of these dudes are it. And so then it's like, do you have any other sons? Like, well, I have one.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think to bring him in.
Yeah.
So it ends up being him, which I think helps us relate to David's story in some sense. Like, oh, he's the guy that got left out by his own dad.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I think that story, then you watch, David's life from there, the story helps. So we all have a story, right, to share with others. So,
yeah. I love the story of David. I love just the fact that he was always, he in that calling, he was found out with the sheep.
Yeah.
Like doing what he was supposed to do in that time of his life, opened opportunity though to move forward and everything. And so I think that's a huge part of the story is just what were you doing and where did God take you? Where did God take you from there?
And he goes back out to the sheep, right?
He does.
Like, so
he
after he gets
out.
anointed to be king, and then he's sent back out.
He's sent back out
to the pasture.
And then when Goliath comes around, he's back out with the sheep and told to go out there and faithful to his dad, just listen to doing what his dad told him to do. And then gets out there and sees another need, another opportunity. And that's how our stories. That's how our stories really are. It's just where were you? Where are you now? Where are you going?
And what happened to you in the process of getting there?
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. And then I think the final thing before we kind of wrap up this episode is making sure that your story points to Christ, right? I mean, so that's really like the reason for us sharing our story is to share the gospel with people. Like, hey, I was pretty jacked up. Here's what I was going through. Here's what God saved me from. I'm a totally different person, not because of me, but because of what God did through me. And that's just a way to share the gospel, right? So it's,
yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Or you don't like on YouTube.
Smash that like button, ring that bell.
Do it.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Thanks again for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.